Hello, viewers. Welcome to yet another episode of We Talk Talent. Those who have been following us are aware that We Talk Talent is a medium through which we reach out to the industry to spotlight the ever-evolving job landscape and the corresponding talent demand and supply. Our crisp yet meaningful and insightful meetings with HR leaders get us closer to the trends impacting talent from hire to retire and economic factors such as globalization and gig workers, and help us to create a depository of knowledge in the talent management space. I'm delighted to welcome and introduce my guest for this session. Jharna Thammaiah is the Director and India Site People and Place Leader at Intuit India. As a leader of the HR function, Jharna steers the site's talent charter by partnering with the business leadership and people and places teams in India and globally to drive Intuit's Employee True North goals. In her current role, Jharna leads by influencing people-centric transformation around organizational design, governance, high-performance culture, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and innovating, enabling a highly engaged regional team. Prior to joining Intuit, she worked in an HR business manager role at Infosys. Great to have you in this session, Jharna.
Thank you, Pooja. It's my pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me on this platform.
So, change is a constant feature in our ecosystem today in the business world. How has your hiring strategy changed concerning sourcing, selection, and pipeline management post the pandemic?
Yeah, Pooja, you rightly said that change has always been the constant for us. And, just especially in the talent world, it has been ever evolving, and more so in these last 2 odd years, right? Everyone in the talent ecosystem had to really evolve and adapt to the newer situations that were thrown at us due to the pandemic. And I think Intuit's been, there's been no exception here in that sense for Intuit. We've had to evolve and reimagine a lot of our employee and candidate experiences here. However, I think a lot of our foundational approaches to focusing on our customer experiences have really helped us in this entire journey. And by customer, I mean, really in the talent space, when we are interacting with candidates, they become our customers, and how we have narrowly been focused on that experience has helped us. So at Intuit, we have this, amazing process to assess candidates, and with the lens of being fair, of not bringing in bias into our assessment. So we have this framework that we call as A4A, or Assessing for Awesome. And this is something that has been in place for many years now. And here, candidates are given the opportunity to really work on a task or strategize on a situation, just like they would do on the job, and then actually present to a small team where they can really be assessed for their ability to think creatively or to, think strategically. And that's how our assessment process works. And there are different elements to our assessment process, which involves assessors coming from different backgrounds. It involves a process of assessing for some key craft skills, the values that we are looking for. It involves a craft demo where candidates get that opportunity to really demonstrate their skills. Could be technical skills through coding, or just their strategic capability through a presentation. And this also involves quick decision making, which ensures that we have a good experience for our candidates. And now this process has really been in the picture for a few years. But what happened as we got into the virtual world was that we also wanted to make sure that candidates continue to have the same experience that they would have when they were coming into our office and really experiencing the entire assessment process, interacting with our assessors face to face. And when we stepped into the virtual world, our teams had to really take a step back and equip everybody involved in this process to make sure that candidates continue to have similar experiences as they would otherwise, in terms of information that would go to them, the resources and tools that they would have even during the assessment process. Everything had to be replicated in the virtual world. So it actually took us some introspection. It took us there was a need to collect feedback from candidates, bring in those experiences. So we relied heavily on our Design for Delight framework, which is our design thinking principles. And we reached out, obtained rich customer empathy, which helped us understand what was going well, what needed attention, what changes were required. And then the teams came together to see, what were those interventions that we needed to be brought in this virtual world, right? Where experiences could be similar to what we would provide when they would come into office. So we did a bunch of things. We started, including short videos showcasing our Intuit campus, our workstations, encourage assessors to have personal connects, personal stories, which would help candidates, visualize what working in Intuit could look like. Also make it fun and interactive, right? Because when they come to office, they get to see all of that. But in the virtual world, you need to be thoughtful of infusing what working at Intuit could look like. So it involved including some of these elements into that experience that we would give to the candidates. And also, on the other hand, we also leverage technology heavily, because earlier you would come into the office, you would use the whiteboard to share your thoughts, you would code. We had to now equip all our candidates with collaborative tools where the experience would be conducive for them to share their thought process. The virtual interview process would be helpful for both candidates and our assessors. So we leverage technology a whole lot, and in addition to that, we also equipped our internal stakeholders, our assessors, our TA teams, everybody who would interact with our candidates, sensitizing them about how to prepare yourself. What should you keep in mind when you interview candidates? How do you build connects? What kind of etiquettes do you want to, be mindful of? Also about unconscious bias, sensitizations that had to be done. We brought all of this together. So we experimented, we learned along the way. We built in different interventions to showcase our culture. The virtual connections were enhanced, introduced candidates to Intuit in more ways than one. So this has been our evolution of how we began to think differently when we think about our hiring strategy, our sourcing and selections process as well. And then on hiring, I think that was another whole area, right? Where earlier you would come into office and you could really be onboarded as you joined the company, but now all of that had to be done virtually. So that was another entire element that we reimagined. How do we onboard our new hires in this virtual world? So we relied completely on our onboarding programs. We have something what we call as VR Intuit, which used to happen in person, but we now moved that completely to a virtual world, trying to infuse session experiences which were similar, where the connect and the bond is felt. We also relied heavily on our buddy program. So we've always had a buddy system, but in this virtual world, it became all the more important to all of us. And I'm sure you'll agree that buddies play a significant role when we're bringing in new hires into the organization. And so a new hire who's well connected to a buddy is usually more productive and more engaged than those who may not have that experience. So buddies were buddy program was something that we relied heavily on, and this perspective and supplemental training and personal experiences have helped us navigate through this virtual world as we as we took care of the entire journey from sourcing to really onboarding our new hires.
Yes, I totally agree, Jharna, that the buddy program is an important pillar for onboarding. And, definitely the pandemic forced us to move from physical to virtual. And it has been such a catalyst for, HR transformation, so as to say. And it has enabled us to kind of, challenge the status quo and think with a revised look at every aspect, which has been really, really beneficial. And one aspect that has really stood out in the last, especially 1 year, is that tables have turned, as far as employer-employee relationship is concerned, and probably it's a more candidate-driven market today. And that has also kind of made employer branding very important, as everybody wants the share of the same pie, most of your competitors and your other industry players. So what have you done for employer branding?
Yeah, you bring up a very important point, and especially in a very competitive talent market as we are all experiencing today. And everywhere you look around, there is such a war for top talent, and we are all trying to attract talent, and in as many ways as we can. And for Intuit, India has always been an important talent hub. So where the work that we do has evolved over the years, and we today drive end-to-end accountability for the work that we do here, both on product and platform capabilities. So one of the things that we've relied heavily on is also centering our focus on being innovative tech organization, a global technology platform organization that helps our customers and our communities overcome their most important financial challenges. So we are centered around who we are as an organization and the work that we do in service of our customers. So that is our grounding around how we want to build our employer brand, in addition of course to being a best employer as well, because the work that you do plus the environment that you have, which helps you be your true self, bring your true self to work, to be able to do that innovative work in service of our customers. That has been what we've centered around in terms of our employer brand. But with the world going fully virtual, creating this brand awareness, creating employee experiences, all of this has definitely evolved. And we've what we're trying to do is we're trying to unleash this power of data and technology, where we can leverage that to also create brand awareness for ourselves. So we're looking for candidates who are really customer obsessed, because as an organization we are customer obsessed, and we're looking for candidates who have the same mindset, who have the same customer obsession and learning mindset, and the courage to really go after solving big problems, building, like focusing on innovation, focusing on experimenting, and also evolving with new technologies. So we're very clear about the kind of talent that we want in service of who we are as an organization, and then the mission that we have as an organization. So we're trying to build our brand around this, and in terms of redefining what this could mean in the virtual world, it is about showcasing ourselves as a organization that is focused on our customers and communities, and we've tried to do it in many ways. And as we are also getting into this hybrid talent or a hybrid world of working, embracing a learning mindset has been important. So what we're also today talking about is the kind of environment that we want to provide to our talent at Intuit. And we've always, as an organization, positioned our employees as our most important assets. So our true north goals have our multiple stakeholders, but have our employees as the first and most important stakeholder. And our hybrid world is also focused on that. We have our hybrid world built around some core principles, which is around fostering connectedness and belonging, around creating that space for creativity and innovation, about solving for speed, and also attracting and retaining top talent. With these principles in mind, we want to create that employer brand which attracts the right kind of talent in service of what we want to deliver for. Also, additionally, Pooja, though we are a product organization, we encourage our teams to think about a platform, mindset, have a platform mindset, so that that's the organization that we are. We are a platform, global tech platform organization, and we want our talent to have that mindset where you're innovating for the platform. And as different customers come to use our various products and services. So the workplace of the future strategy really helps empower our employees and teams to come together to serve for this, but also have an environment where you have that flexibility to, for teams to decide when they want to be together, when they want to work, have work from home in a virtual environment. We're bringing all of this together to create that employer brand, where we have stories to share about the work that we do, the environment that we have at the workplace, and now that we are going back into a hybrid kind of a setup, what could that look like, so that talent is in the market is aware of what we have as offerings.
Yes, Jharna, as candidates become more purpose driven, it is essential that a brand's employer branding does consist of, giving them a reflection of what your mission looks like, so that that alignment can take place at that stage. And when you talk about being customer centric and change mindset are important traits that you look for in potential employees. It's a great segue to come and talk about skills. So you being a part of a very technology driven industry, technical skills is one thing which I'm sure every recruiter looks for. Over and above technical skills, what are the other behavioral, softer skills that are essential for talent to have today in order to, be innovative? And you talked about delight for design, integrate those aspects in their workflows.
Yeah. So Pooja, again, I think I'd go back to what we've believed as an organization. So for Intuit, the what and the how has always been very important. The craft skills that you bring to the organization, but also how you enable people around you and how you deliver, that is also equally important. So today, again, I think skills are of various kinds. You have your technical skills, but also equally important are your, behavioral skills and your soft skills, and a combination of who you are as an individual and the kind of leadership that you can bring to the organization. So it's definitely a combination of both. And specifically in today's fast-paced environment, strong technical skills extremely important. And as we are leveraging, more AI, ML, all of that, right? Those become extremely critical. But equally important is our set of non-technical skills, and things like business acumen. Do you have problem-solving capabilities? Do you have customer obsession? Do you have influencing skills? Do you have the passion to kind of innovate and translate that into success? How do you bring the values to your workplace? How do you work together in teams? How do you deliver awesome? So all of that, the how becomes very, very important to us as well. And again, these are evolving. The world is moving so fast that both the technical skills and the leadership capabilities and the competencies that you want to bring to the table are also evolving. So for us, I think every employee is a leader. So irrespective of what role you're playing, so bringing all your leadership skills along with your core craft skills is equally important, and that has been relevant all the more today in the virtual world, because you need to balance out the engagement, influencing, all of that in a virtual world where you're not meeting your peers every day, right? So our values, they continue to be very, very core to us, and so therefore we, as part of our assessment process, which I referred to earlier, which is assessing for awesome, we pay equal importance to the core craft skills that you bring, but also to the values and the other capabilities, leadership capabilities that we would require as an organization. So equal importance is given to all of this as we hire for talent. And since it's also about where we're seeing growth in Intuit India, so we are seeing the need to hire talent across different functions, and therefore as the organization at this in the country evolves, and the kind of work that we're doing, we are having many different functional capabilities mature over time, and therefore we're hiring for different functional capabilities, and that brings in the requirement for teams to work together. So it's no longer just engineering anymore. So we are hiring for engineering roles, product design, product management. We're hiring for data science, analytics, functional capabilities as well. So when we have such diverse, talent coming together, the other, nuances of leadership become all the more important, because you're going to be working with so much of diversity, and diversity is at the core of Intuit. And at the growth phase that we are here in Intuit India, I mean, this has become all the more important, that the core skills, the core technical skills, along with the combination of your, leadership capabilities and values, together help you be successful in an environment like this. So so I would say it's equal weightage given to both, and it's a combination is what is important to us as we hire talent.
Very well said, Jharna. At the last, I'm conscious of time running out, so we just have time for one last question. What is the crux of your employee engagement strategy? If you can briefly tell me that.
Sure, Pooja. I think our secret sauce in Intuit India has really been about continuing to empower our employees, who are our number one assets, like I mentioned earlier, and they are the core of our culture. They are our culture amplifiers and our brand champions as well. So we continue to create an environment where each of us feel like we're bringing our true selves to work, and we are hiring top talent. So we want it to be an environment where all our top talent feel like they can bring their true selves to work and do the best work of their lives. So it's really about empowering our employees. And believe me, it's been a multi-year journey. It's not about what we do at one point in time, but really about what we do every day. So and how do we create that environment where everyone can learn, grow, contribute. So our people have been our advocates. So we've of course evolved our way of staying connected with our employees during this virtual transition and now in the hybrid world as well. So we are leveraging multiple technology platforms, of course, but in addition to that, we are engaging with our internal employee communities, our networks. They have all helped us stay together. They've helped us stay focused on our priorities, on people, product, and technology, as well as our ecosystem. Helped us find creative ways to keep the larger team engaged, and we continue to learn, evolve through the VOE that we get from our employees. So it's really about going back and empowering our employees to be our brand champions. That's the core of our culture and an engagement strategy.
It really sounds amazing, Jharna, from assessment for awesome to then enabling and empowering your workforce is an interesting story to take back. Dear viewers, I hope you found this conversation insightful. That's all we have in this episode of We Talk Talent. Thank you, Jharna.
Thank you, Pooja. Thanks for having us here.